Hello and welcome to episode 37 of I Will Cast Anything. We're here on Daybreak for a PvT. The red Protoss player spawning in the bottom left hand position is Scapegoat, who is going to destroy the blue Terran player spawning in the top right hand position, who is zomgscii. And he asks, why is this? Why would you do such a cruel thing to me? Scapegoat is the player that sent me this replay. He says he's a platinum level player. He actually sent me a pack of 5. I recorded and uploaded the first 3 quite a while ago. And then recorded this game before but had some technical difficulties, so I waited until I've forgotten what happened in this game. And now I'm re-recording it. I am nearing the end of my stack of replay files at the moment, so if you're watching this and you've never sent me replay before, or even if you have, please do email me at thickropeystream@gmail.com. Send me a replay file or a drop.sc link, and like it says in the name, I will cast anything, so I don't care what race you are, how long the game is, what league you're in, if it's ladder, if it's not. I will cast absolutely anything. Here comes the first gateway and probe scout from Scapegoat, our Protoss player. Doesn't look like any super wacky early aggression from either player. Barracks going down on the way out of the main for zomgscii, and that SCV scout is coming out as well. Quite an early gas here for Protoss. Actually, I tell a lie. Not particularly early at all. Early enough that warp gate will be a possibility as soon as that cybercore finishes up, I think is the plan. And the first barracks finishing up for the Terran player just as the scout arrives. Gonna make its way through the back of the base, count those SCVs, make sure none are missing, which would suggest something wacky, and it looks like there's going to be a quick command sensor here from zomgscii, going for that 1 racks expands. Meanwhile, the cybercore is on the way for Scapegoat, and that gas timing is going to be pretty good to have the gas needed for warp gate research in a pretty short space of time. Here comes that command sensor, and the first marine has just popped out, and so Scapegoat's probe makes a quick escape. Oh, I tell you what, there's 2 marines. Missed the first one coming out. Here comes that first gas for Terran, and we see warp gate research has indeed been started by Scapegoat, and a stalker is on the way out. Meanwhile, a second barracks for Terran looks like it might be thinking about walling off this angle here, prevent anything from getting up into his base. 2 barracks actually, 1 up here on the high ground, 1 down here on the low ground, so it looks like some bio play will be what the Terran player is going for early on. Meanwhile, Scapegoat is taking the second gas, and that chrono boosting into the cybercore to get that warp gate up as soon as possible, and is also expanding down here. Slightly later expansion, not a sort of super rushed nexus, focusing on getting that warp gate first and foremost. Zomgscii demonstrating either sarcasm or less than superb game reading abilities, saying eep a 4 gate. We do see a zealot and a stalker moving out across the map to have a bit of a poke at the front door. There are only 2 marines out, but the bunker is going up, and a zealot and a stalker should win pretty easily against 2 marines here. 1 goes down, 1 is on red health, and if they can kill the SCV, oh, they're focusing on the bunker instead of the SCV, but I suppose there are no marines to go into it, so it doesn't really matter. 2 more are being trained by zomgscii. But I suspect this bunker is going to go down. Yes, it does. The SCVs are not pulled to repair it in time, and now those SCVs are going to have to run away. 1 more marine does pop out, but it's going to be murdered. The command center has to lift up, because suddenly Scapegoat has taken control of this little piece of the map down here. Back at Scapegoat's base, the robotics facility is up, and that first observer is coming, satisfied with disrupting the natural expansion of his opponent. Scapegoat is returning home with his zealot and stalker, and a very defensive bunker going down here. Looks like zomgscii doesn't want to push back down to that expansion anytime soon, throwing up engineering bay as well to get some upgrades. And not going to use that command center for anything except mule energy for the moment. The observer is heading across the map to pick up lots of scouting information. And Scapegoat has the second nexus up and is mining, so now has a good income advantage, and as a consequence is throwing down 3 more gateways. Get that production up and going. Not producing anything at the robotics facility after that first observer just yet. We'll see what comes next. Zomgscii is finally floating this command center, this orbital command, back down to resume mining at that expansion. Scapegoat is angry. Zomgscii thought he would full gate, but Scapegoat has a significant lead here, having disrupted the early mining of his opponent and forced him into building some extra defensive bunkers and taking out that bunker in the first place. Also did get 1 worker kill and killed off a few marines early on there. This observer is just sitting here watching everything that's going on. We'll have seen this factory going up, tech lab coming on the factory, so might expect to see tanks pretty soon, and robotics bay coming, so I would expect to see Colossus pretty soon for Scapegoat. Getting that robotics bay to get extended thermal lance. 2 more gateways as well, so heading up towards that magic number that you like to have of 2 bases of Protoss, which is 7 gateways, but 6 is pretty good. If you got your robo, and here comes that first Colossus and extended thermal lance for the Protoss player. Meanwhile, Zomgscii has gotten plenty of mining going on at this natural expansion finally, and is going heavy into that bio play. Marines and Marauders are being trained constantly. Stim is researching, as is concussive shells and +1 ground weapons, infantry weapons. And getting an armory and a starport into the mix, so probably going to get some medvacs out pretty short order. Plenty of zealots out here for Scapegoat, who has a pretty healthy supply advantage at the moment, and is going to be teching into Colossus pretty heavily, I think. Also taking a 3rd base, knowing that his opponent was set behind by that early harassment of the natural expansion. Protoss can comfortably take that 3rd and not have to worry about any kind of reprisal taking place. Getting a forge as well here. Oh, that's not the forge. That's the forge. No, that's not the forge either. That's the Twilight Council, where there's a forge somewhere. There it is. So, starting to think about getting some ground unit upgrades as well. I think Scapegoat might be. And going to wait until the Colossus numbers build up a little bit, up to 2 now. See once extended thermal lance finishes up, which is about to do, if Scapegoat decides to push across the map, getting that +1 weapons as the forge finishes up. And blue flame coming, which is interesting from Zomgscii, since there are no Hellions out on the field just yet, and no training, none at training, and going straight to +2 weapons as soon as +1 finishes, getting those tanks, getting those medvacs at the moment, and constructing another command center here, looking to perhaps float it down maybe to this location here. This would be a more usual expansion location. And Zomgscii, I think, might be looking to push out as combat shields finish here. Got quite a significant Marine Marauder force and a couple of medvacs. Now going into two Vikings, which will be very helpful against the Colossi that are out. Zealot legs for a Scapegoat, so it looks like it's going to be Colossus Zealot unit mix primarily. But we do also see Archons coming into the mix. Here comes that move from Zomgscii, content to push out to the Zalnaga Tower initially, and now splitting his force. No, sorry, not splitting his force, but going to take down these rocks in the middle and push through, I think, rallying more Marines and Marauders and getting some Hellions as well with that blue flame upgrade. And ship plating, so interesting upgrade pattern from Terran here. Is floating that 3rd orbital command down to this position here to get some even more mining going on, and Protoss is getting Storm and Blink. Oh, and this 3rd might be in trouble here. There's not much here to defend it. Scapegoat is going to have to pull this army up pretty quickly because there's a large Marine Marauder force coming here. 1 tank but no siege tech. This Nexus is in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Colossus though, and that extended thermal lance is going to do massive damage. Pretty good force fields there walling off stim from the Terran. The Zealots go in and chew through everything. And the extended thermal lance just ripping apart that army. 3 Colossus and 2 Archons. Most of the Zealots died there, but they were just there to tank damage. And now lots more Stalkers come in. And there's going to be a reprisal attack from Scapegoat. Scapegoat has a 60 supply lead at the moment, so 70 supply lead even, so why not? A small number of units that did manage to get picked up are heading back home for Zomgscii, but I don't think Zomgscii has enough to defend this attack. +1 weapons has finished for Protoss, and +2 is on the way, as well as +1 armor. That armor upgrade also coming for the Terran player, and it looks like the third... Oh, yep, it is going to be the third that's taken out. So Scapegoat says, you try and take out my third, I'm going to try and take out yours. And there is a small force coming in behind here, but the moment those Colossi turn around, that force is going to melt away. And the Archons will probably... Oh, Archons and Stalkers? No, not going to be able to take down this orbital. If it moves further away, which it needs to, run away, orbital, run away! No, it's on fire, there's nothing here to repair. That orbital is going to die, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually it might be close. Could potentially be saved with a mule drop. Yep, there comes the mule. And there goes the repair. And that orbital will live to mine another day, but not much longer. Scapegoat pushing that supply advantage out more and more here. Just has a massive income advantage at the moment. Fully mining off 3 bases, whereas his opponent only mining off 2. Just a big production advantage here, throwing down 5 more gateways to push that advantage out, and getting plenty of High Templars so that he can drop lots and lots of storms on his opponent. It looks like a lot of those High Templars are going to be going into Archons though. Scapegoat getting close to maxed out here. Probably will think about another push in the not too distant future, I would expect. And there's not much that can be done to respond to this from the Terran player. Still relying on Marine Marauder with Medvac and a couple of Vikings for air support. Getting a couple of starports up now to try and get more of those out. A fusion core, which is interesting. Might be going to battle cruiser potentially. Get these more starports and a fusion core. Get some battle cruisers out. I don't know if they'll be out in time to make any sort of difference in this attack, but it would make sense for why that ship plating upgrade was taken pretty early on. Here comes the engagement. Great force fields and 2 Colossus left, just chewing through everything, and Zomgscii knows he's beaten.